Can you explain about that?
I don't know. It's like first appearances, how someone judges. Like, you can kind of tell about people, how they dress, what they look like, how much attention they pay, how much attention they pay towards their attractiveness or what they look like. I don't know. So like, you can explain like there's like you can see if somebody is genuinely a clean looking person or a clean person by if they're clean, or you can tell if they're like not so clean. I don't know. That's not so much the best word to explain it, but you can tell a lot about a person by how they look. That's how I think, and like dating is finding somebody you're compatible with. So
yes, I think it does. Like when you dress well, it means that you're open to dating and you're willing to attract the opposite sex. And so I think that people get the signal that you're not attracted, like you're not open to that if you don't dress in a certain way.
Yeah, I could say that the way someone physically looks can affect someone when they're dating them or if they're going to date them. For most people, they go for personality first, I think, and then like when they actually meet the person, it weighs heavily. Because I know from past experience that physical attraction, everyone has this huge implication on. I know definitely right now that with today's society, with like magazines and everything, putting a huge necessity on having the perfect body. Like girls have to be like size 0, and guys have to be bulging muscles. Like look at me and I'm a twig. So, but most people seem to have like this huge implying that you have to have the perfect body for anyone to actually love you, or to even think about dating you.
Put more time or judge more people like based on appearances?
I think that there's a lot more propaganda about women, how women look, over men in our society. There's a lot more focus on a woman's body and more focus on a man's face. But like women have to have both, and they have to be really good. Like in magazines, where we always see models, whereas because of the big clothes industry that we have, whereas for men, like there might be a men's section in the magazine, but there isn't necessarily.
I would assume men care more about appearances in general, maybe not their own, but the appearance of either their partner or, just a partner probably.
They both care.
Well, they both care. There's no denying that. It depends on to the extent that who cares. Each looks for different things. A friend of mine's favorite expression is men wearing a suit is the same as women wearing lingerie, so you could look along those lines.
Yeah, I did the speed dating thing after my divorce, and felt like more of the people who sat down either were just completely withdrawn, and then those who didn't either just would walk by, and that's almost more hurtful than somebody just saying what they did, which was, "You're just too fat for me." And that was the first thing and only thing they really had to say, and just moved on.
overall, everyone was dressed pretty casually, except there was this one guy, Ravi. He was dressed pretty professional. Like, I thought that was cool. He looked pretty snazzy. I mean, I'm just dressed like an athlete, but but other than that, pretty casual. Pretty casual.
Yes.
Not really. I tend not to pay too much attention, especially to clothes. Like, clothes is not a constant, so I don't know why I pay too much attention to that.
Yeah. I definitely noticed what I thought of their physical features. Yeah. Mainly face structure. I mean, we're sitting at tables. You can't see a whole lot more than that. I analyzed some about height. Height matters a little bit to me.
I think it does significantly. The reasoning for that, if you see someone walking around, example, at a really formal event in jeans and a t-shirt, they're probably going to look like a slob and you're going to have a less than desirable opinion of them. Whereas you see someone running around in a ball gown out at a rugby tournament, you're probably going to think, well, actually, they're going to have a good time, actually. But it definitely has an effect depending on who you are and the situation itself.
Oh, first impression, I definitely think, like, if I was set up with a blind date, I don't want some guy coming up to me, I don't know, in shredded clothes, all covered in dirt, grimy and stink. No, I'd like a guy to come up to me, nicely dressed, even like what I'm dressed as, nothing just gross, just nice. Even if it's going to be like a good professional date, then, a tux, whatever, I like that.
I think it does. I think if it's blatantly obvious that this person doesn't care at all about the event, then that can be a little off-putting. But at the same time, if someone goes to a certain length where it's just overdoing it, then that can sometimes be a little bit intimidating for a conversation. Like when you're trying to talk to someone and they're really overdressed and you're kind of just jeans and a t-shirt, it can be a little intimidating sometimes because you feel like maybe you're not fulfilling your role in the conversation or your role at the event, and that's kind of a bad feeling to have. So.
Thank you. For our English class, we did a public audience project, and we asked the question, does appearance affect dating? And before we started this, I thought that appearance would have a huge impact on dating, and what we found was really surprising.
Yeah, I thought that it would involve a lot of actually physical, like features on a person, how they dress, for a girl, whether they did their makeup or not, how they smell even. And I thought that would be very important. But as we went through the experiment with doing our surveys, with the surveys we had 13 surveys from females and 12 surveys from males. And our findings from those were kind of interesting. Majority of them said that appearance did not matter, or it mattered very minimally.
For the social experiment, we kind of based it off of the surveys and interviews that we did, and we had a control group of 4 people, and these people were dressed up in different outfits, and they knew about the experiment. And the other group, we had 8 people who were not informed about the experiment and just knew that it was a English class project. And what we found from this was that almost all of them said that appearance didn't matter and they didn't even notice what the other person was wearing. And to me, that was really surprising.
I know, I thought the same things. I found it very surprising that a lot of people that we had interviewed after social experiment actually didn't even look at what the other person was wearing. They just wanted to get really to know them, know their personality, and it really wasn't a deciding factor for them. I found it really interesting that for appearance-wise, they said more like basic hygiene was what really mattered to them, which our control group was mostly college students. Undergrad students were the majority. The minority was grad students. They were ranging in age from 18 to 27, I believe. Oh, and for both this this speeding event that we had put on, it was about even girls and guys, which I thought was a really good outcome for our project. Made the interviews and everything more balanced out and got to see an even view of both what the girls had to say and what the guys had to say.
For this project, we found a lot of interesting things, and we both feel that from our findings, appearance has a minimal effect on dating.
Yes, I have to agree with that finding. With our research question, I definitely am surprised and actually pleasantly shocked that with our group of people that we had done this project with, and turned out that none of them really thought appearance was a deciding factor when it came to dating or flirting with people. Thank you.
Thanks.